So the Florida guy that was in the ambulance, he gets in, goes up the ladder, comes back down in like 2 seconds, and here he's got the little bugger in the net. And the other guy that went up goes, "How the hell did you get him?" He said, "It was easy. He didn't even see me." "What do you mean?" "He was looking at you guys. He couldn't figure out what the hell you were doing. I just went up and got him." So now I got this little guy. He's molt. There's no feathers on him. He's a little. He's got. I got a picture somewhere. I gotta find it. Just his little head, and then the firefighter's holding him with his gloves, you know, and stuff. And he's got a distinct look. To this day, I know Hooty when I see him because of this look. And that Hooty's looking. So we put him in a box. He can't fly. Put him in a box. Bessie goes get some water and chicken. They call the snake chaser. The snake chaser is going to take him to Ark Animal Hospital that's down in Surfside. So about an hour goes by, the snake chaser comes over, these people leave. Meanwhile, they had the Herald, the local newspaper came. So these people leave. Snake chaser goes up and he says, "Well, first of all, he won't drink that water." He said, "You really shouldn't give him that chicken." We're going, "What difference does that make? He eat dead squirrel, what the hell is a chicken doing?" At any rate, he says what they do is they eat their food, they get all their water out of their food. I don't know. So he takes Hooty in the box and he takes him down to Ark Animal Hospital. So I'm in the house a little bit. Bessie now, I take her to the airport. Your aunt passed away. Whenever that was, about 2-3 years ago now.
Yeah.
And Bessie went back on her own. I was here, watched the cat and stuff. She was in diapers and stuff in those days. So I said, "Well, I'll take care of the cat. You go ahead and go back to the funeral." So she flew back on her own. So I get on the phone and I called down to Ark Animal Hospital. I said, "I'm calling to see how Hooty's doing." She says, "Oh, you mean that owl?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, the owl's not here." I said, "Where's the owl at?" "Well, they took it to Ottawa, to the wild bird sanctuary, and that's just north of Charleston, South Carolina." So they drew Hooty all the way down. You know where Charleston is, Mount Pleasant? Right adjacent there is Ottawa. So that's like an hour and a half drive down. So they took Hooty there. She said, "Why don't you just give them a call in the morning?" Because this is like 6 at night. I said, "Okay." So the next morning, I get up, I call the bird sanctuary at Ottawa. I said, "I'm calling to follow up on my owl friend Hooty." Now, they don't know who Hooty is. They said, "Oh, well, he'll be with the birds. That's out in the back. Give me your email and your phone number, and I'll have the girls get back to you." I said, "Okay, thank you." So she took down the information. So now I'm sitting there. And this, I'm going to say this was like 10 in the morning. So I go off, I'm doing my stuff. I'm sitting there, it's about 4 in the afternoon, and the doorbell rings. So I walk out, I go to the door, and these 2 girls are standing where they drove all the way from Ottawa, Charleston, South Carolina, to my door. Said, "We want to put Hooty back in the nest. He's being fed." An owl, when they eat, they get live or fresh kill. The mother comes and feeds them. They take the food in, they extract all the moisture, all the food material, and they leave the bones and the furs, and then they do what's called the casting. And they cast it out, they throw it up, and when they do this casting, well, they said it's got to be fed because that's how it got the food to throw it up. And my whole premise was that it wasn't getting fed, it was dying up there. The mother was gone. They said, "No, the mother's here." So the 2 girls are on the front porch, and I look at them, I said, "Well," I said, "to tell you what, turn around." And they turn around, I said, "See that pine tree right there?" I said, "If you go up to the top, see that nest way up there in the top?" I said, "That's Hooty's nest." And they're looking up there, their jaw drops, they're going, "How the hell did this guy get this bird out of this?" Then they proceed to tell me it's against the federal law to tamper with a wild bird nest. I'm going, "Oh shit." So they said, "I'll tell you what," and they had like a dog carrier. They said, "We can put this in any tree. The mother will come and take care. What tree do you think we had?" And we're looking at those magnolias next to the house. I said, "Well, put it where I could see it." I said, "I tell you what, can you give me a minute? Come on in." They were hesitant to come in. They said, I said, "Come on, step inside." I said, "Sit down there." "Oh, no. And they just stood there. I said, "Okay, give me a minute." So I go in the room. I call up the fire department. Now, this is the next day. Everybody's new. Sergeant Beck came the first day, took the bird out of the tree. They had ambulance drivers, all these people. But obviously, these people talked to others. So I call this guy up. He says, "Hi, I said, this is Mr. Osling. I said, I got a situation. I got to get an owl back in its nest. He goes, I can't help you, but you're going to have to call the chief on this. I said, okay. So he gives me the chief's number. I call the chief. I says, Chief, I got myself into a fix. I found out it's a federal law that you'll go to jail if you tamper with a wild bird nest. And I took an owl out of his nest. I got to get that owl back in its nest. Now the chief knows damn well his boys took the owl out of his nest. But I'm not blaming the chief. I'm taking the onus on myself. I said, is there any chance you can help me out here? Turns out the owl's mother is there, and I explained the cast and all that stuff to him. He says, tell you what, give me a minute. I said, okay. So we hang up. I get a call. This is Lieutenant Brown. Chief gave me a call. I'll be over in a minute, take care of the situation. I said, thank you. Sitting there, these two ladies now, I go out to the front. I don't say nothing to them. I said, tell you what, I think we ought to put Hooty back in his nest. And they're looking, how in the hell are we going to get Hooty? I've taken care of that. And they're looking at me. Meanwhile, over the bridge comes this big hook and ladder truck. They turn around, they take that sucker, they put it on up into the tree. The guy comes over, takes a little owl, walks him up, puts him in the nest. These two girls are looking at me like, who the heck is this guy? So I'm standing here with these ladies. They're gushing all over me now. Oh, you're such a sweet guy. We talked about fire department leaves. The girls, they were still there. I offered them a soda, you know, and stuff. So now they want to give me tickets. Look at that cloud. Woo! Holy Toledo. That's scary. At any rate, the girls give me tickets to go to the wild bird sanctuary. You're welcome anytime. Come down and see us and stuff like that. But they drove all the way from Charleston to put that bird in the nest. At any rate, that's the Hooty story. Now, Hooty, since then, has migrated to the backyard. The big storm knocked the branch out of the tree where his nest was off of. And so now we see him in the backyard. Hopefully, we'll get to see him while you're here. We're going to go up to the pool now. Let's go. I don't like that cloud. See that? Look at that sucker there. Look.